Greetings, USA made blade lovers. That's what we got for you today. All of these 7 openers, some auto, some manual, are USA made. And what I tried to do is represent different companies. Now granted, I have others, and for sake of brevity, although this won't be that short, I limited this survey, this review, overview, to 7 knives. So, represented here are Hogue, ZT, Microtech, SOG, Boker. Yes, I know that's a German company, but this one is USA made by Protech, Spyderco, and Benchmade. So there you have 7 different companies. Yes, there are more, and I think I've got a few more from different companies, and we're not including any customs in this review. It's all autos. Excuse me, production. Early in the morning here, just getting started, but wanted to turn this one out. And it's cold these days, so if you hear a little bit of background noise, that's my furnace kicking on. Quiet though, using gas. We'll see if that price jumps up like it's supposed to. All right, all that nonsense aside, let's dive in. First one I'm going to grab is a beautiful modern art sort of knife designed by Burnley, marketed by marketed by Boker. A lot of layers of names here. Boker USA, and why is that? Because it's made by Protech in the US. The steel on this is 154 cm, as are many Protech knives. It's a beautiful side opening auto. It's a Quaken style blade. A lot of people don't like that little extra grind on top, but if you do your research, you'll find that is quite traditional. So we're going to accept that. You may or may not like it. You may like it with that flat just continuing across there. It's a good sized knife. It's I like it just because it has a lot of art to it in its simplicity. They even thought of things like recessing the handle here so that you can press that blade all the way in, because guess what? It is completely flush with the handle. And I wonder if I need to back out a little bit more to get this focus. The clip is not quite deep carry. It's not switchable. It is ever so simple, as I said. Not a lot of extra stuff to look at. The billboarding is it's significant because everybody's got to get their name on here. The designer, the maker, and the marketer. But there you have an American-made knife, the Burnley Quaken side-opening auto. Beautiful knife. Comes in a nice presentation, sort of a box too, with just the knife showing and the foam and all of that. I like it. Let me jump to one of my favorite USA made blades, Hogue. And this is the Hogue, and going to have to cheat a little bit here, look at a note, hang on. So I have that one listed as the EX02, Hogue EX02. We got the Lava Damascus, G10 in layers, and when it's machined, you get that beautiful pattern, and each one is a little different. It is a button lock folder, beautifully smooth, although I believe it's not on bearings, this is on washers. 154 cm steel. This is a 3.75 inch drop point. They call it a 4 inch. Maybe I have that wrong. It's a 4 inch. Don't know what I'm talking about. They come in 3.5 or 4. Somehow in my catalog I had this listed as 3.75. It's a full 4-inch blade of 154 cm, stone washed, beautifully rugged and ergonomic. It's got their Piranha grip on there, which is a machined in texture that grabs your skin but doesn't cut you up. It's really, really well done. It's a solid G10 handle except for the hardware that they insert up front for the locking mechanism and the pivot. Secondary lock, easy to close, fires right open. Different kind of feeling as far as the detent on this goes, because it's really the pressure exerted by the plunge lock. And I did something on button locks a while back, and this was one of them. I also have, I believe, an EX01 in the molded handle with the Tonto blade. I like their big folders, 4-inch folders. I hope they continue to make them. So that is our second USA made blade, the EX02. Let's jump to a classic. The ZT0452CF. Now I know probably quite a few of you out there have this knife, or you know of it. It's a Sienkiewicz design. It's beautiful titanium on one side. That's an aftermarket clip. Can't recall who made that. Might be Pop's Clips, or it might be something off of eBay, but it's a titanium clip. The one that came with it's a little on the short side and kind of flimsy, and I preferred this particular upgrade. Beautiful carbon fiber on one side, solid carbon fiber, so it's a fairly light knife, quite a light knife for its size. Great jimping on the top. Got a lot of meat out towards the point there because of the way this wedge is ground. Not a particularly high grind. It's a flat, however. And the steel on this is S35VN, if I forget to mention that. And there is your info right there. And it's got a serial number. And it is made in the USA, right there. Beautiful pivots on this knife. I like the way the ZT does their pivots. They're on a fair number of their knives. Flat, thin handle. Ergos are great. Fingers fit right in. Have sort of those pseudo finger grips in there. I think Mr. Sienkiewicz did a great job, and there are many other designs by him in the ZT line. Long, full 4-inch blade on this one. Actually over like a 4.2. So may not be able to carry this where you live, or you might, because of its length. Plenty of handle. It's just a comfortable, light, large knife. You could even call it a gentleman's knife, but got a lot of tactical going on there. Okay. Here's a favorite of mine. My so-called Grail knife. I waited a while to get one of these. This is the Stitch by Microtech, a Borka design. Listen to that thing fire. And of course we got the usual Microtech billboarding. This one is in M390. Look at that backspacer. Solid steel. Well, ooh, titanium. Yeah, first time I checked it with the magnet. Make sure my magnet's working. Yep, sticks to the release button. Certainly going to stick to the blade. It's one of those jewelers, gold testing things. It's a rare earth magnet underneath there. I keep the protector on there so I don't scratch anything. But that's the first time I realized that that's either aluminum, you may know, either aluminum or titanium. I don't know Microtech to use a lot of titanium. They use aluminum in their handles. And the handle is aluminum, so I'm going to back pedal a little bit and say, that's an aluminum spacer. How about that? Nice lanyard hole. It is an auto. You may or may not be able to carry it where you live. They aren't allowed around here, but no harm in collecting them, right? Using them around the house and around the yard. This one hasn't seen much use. It's sort of been a safe queen for a while. Great jimping in that finger choil, and you can just lock right in. The grip on this is just beautifully perfect. You can come way back here on it. Got a lot of handle. Not a whole lot of blade. Maybe we got like 3 3/4 thereabouts. Wicked aggressive arrow point sort of blade. Marked up pretty good there. There's Borka's design, or maker's logo. Microtech serial numbers, etc. The clip side, believe it or not, is devoid of anything. Unless there's, no, nothing in there. So that is the Microtech Stitch, USA made knife. And we're moving along. We were down to the last 3, and I know I'm going along here. But this is the Knife Works special edition of the Contigo by Benchmade. M390 blade, layered blue and black handle. All the handles were on these were a little bit different. Don't know if they're making another run of them. It's still a very large 4-inch blade knife. No jimping here. All your jimping is on the handle, and there's plenty of it. If you know this knife in its standard version, it's so aggressive that some people take sandpaper to it, but this is really perfect. Look at the that almost full back spacer. That's out of stainless, that I know. Yep. Heavily jimped. It's more than jimping, really. It's going to hang on to you. Came with the beautiful, bright, deep carry Benchmade pocket clip. Is the axis lock. And if you give it enough energy, you can flick it out with the thumb stud. That's the Warren Osborne, well-known reverse tanto, if you will, blade. And it's just a beautiful showpiece, or a user, tactical user. I have the standard version, and this standard version is an M4 and gets used. This guy sort of hangs around in the safe places. Okay. Moving on to the last 2, we have, as I'm sure you know, the Yojimbo. USA made. There is the proof, Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. Now, a lot of the other Spyderco knives recently, you know, in the $150 to $200 range even, are being made in Taiwan. Not a bad thing. But this one, as far as I know, S30V, USA made. And the only addition here is the Allen Putnam aftermarket grips of G10. Really neat. I like them. Adds a little extra grip to it. Adds a little extra class. These things come through like razor blades. Points are a little on the thin side. It's I had an opportunity to get the Yojimbo, but this is just fits my hand perfectly. I don't need that larger Wharncliffe. And this is, of course, a Michael Janich design going way back. This is the Yojimbo 2. There was the Yojimbo 1. Some improvements were made on the 2, as far as I know. Beautiful compression lock. Works well on this one. Swings completely closed. Nothing there to get in the way of your finger like on some of the compression locks. Easily Spidey flicked with this one, or rolled open with the thumb. That is the USA made Spyderco Yojimbo. Finally, and you might question me on this, Here we have the SOG Seal XR. And there is your USA made logo. Yep, S35VN. This one, unlike the Pentagon and some of the other newer XRs that are made in either Taiwan and possibly China, this one is US. It is a monster, powerfully strong blade with like about over a 5mm thick stock, I believe. Clip point. Jimping on this guy all the way around the handle. Jimping on the back strap. Skull crusher pommel there. You could actually use it as a hammer. All steel. Very solid knife. Look at all the jimping all the way along the back. There is no part of this knife that isn't jimped, pretty much. And yet, closes like a breeze. A little strong in the detent on the open. I don't do really well with it with the thumb opening because that detent is a little on the strong side. I tend to actually just open it using the XR lock. Very, very easy. No problem whatsoever. All right, that's the last one, and let's see if we can get them all back in the frame here. Are they going to fit? They're making a lot of noise trying to do it, that's for sure. Kind of angle some of these off. Squeeze them in here. And we'll get the Burnley Protech in there last. Okay. That is the USA collection, my favorite. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe.